Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host Stefan Burns, geologist, geophysicist, space weather guy. We have a very notable asteroid flyby that's occurring right now today, June 27th, though it's nothing to be concerned about because this asteroid is not going to be impacting the Earth. It's going to get at its closest about 6.7 lunar distances away from the Earth, which equates to about 0.017 astronomical units. The distance from the Sun to the Earth is about 1 astronomical unit on average. So it's getting pretty close, but not flying closer than the moon. This asteroid specifically is 1997 NC1, and we see its location right here in orbit today. So this flyby is occurring. If you have a 6-inch telescope or greater, you could track this yourself. It's flying through the constellation of Ophiuchus. So there's, of course, you have Sagittarius, Ophiuchus, Scorpius. If we're going backwards across the zodiac the opposite way, it's flying through very, very quick because it is a pretty fast flyby. The reason why this is important is that it is a dangerous near-Earth asteroid. Its diameter is 947 meters. So this is a big boy. If this was a hit, it would be very, very bad, especially if it hit a major populated center. This is way bigger than Tunguska, which could level a city. You know, the Tunguska impact, I believe it's 1907, that could level a city. This is much bigger than that, 1,000 meters across basically. So thankfully, it's not hitting us. It's the closest this asteroid though has been in about 400 years. So you see it's slightly outside the orbit there, and we see that its orbit here is inclined to the ecliptic plane. So it only crosses Earth's orbit every now and then, and actually only intersects it at this single point here. Otherwise, it's getting close to Venus. So it's also a hazardous asteroid for Venus. And there's variations with asteroids in their orbits because they are smaller objects. There's always some fluctuations with their orbit. Of course, Earth is always having its own orbital fluctuations as well. So at some point, this may hit us, though we don't see any evidence that's going to hit us, at least for the next 100 years. Here we go forward in time. Now it's the 1st of July, and we see it's below the ecliptic plane. But it's coming in with a velocity of about 9 kilometers per second, 8.9 kilometers per second. Is the velocity for that, and this is considered a once-in-a-decade event. Statistically, you get an asteroid of this size to fly close to Earth in this range about once every 10 years. So that's happening right now, and this asteroid was discovered in 1997. So we don't have 100 years on it in terms of direct observations, so we can backtrack its orbit. It's not interacting with us, but if you do have a 6-inch telescope and you're watching this right as I post it, you may be able to find it or track it as it goes a little further away, but eventually it will be below the ecliptic plane. So as you know, we've had tons of fireballs and also asteroid meteorite basically impacts. We've had meteorites recovered just over the past few months, with this fireball wave starting in March and then into mid-April. Then there was a resurgence back in May and June. So it's been a very active few months as it relates to things flying into our atmosphere and basically us being helpless to stop them. Maybe eventually that changes, but as of right now, if this was on a collision course, let's say 2 years ago, they were observing it and recognized, oh, actually it is going to impact us, there's probably nothing that we could have done. And we do have Apophis, which is fairly close in size to this asteroid, doing an extremely close flyby in 2029. It'll pass closer than geosynchronous orbit, which is 5.6 Earth radii. So that is very close. Now, all the calculations that have been, discussed and released to the public say it's not going to hit us. We hope that's the case. But if Apophis, or for example, this asteroid was to hit us, I'm not sure there's anything that we could do. If we had enough time ahead of us, I'm sure our space agencies would mobilize and cook up something, and hopefully it would work, just like the movie plots. But we haven't needed to do so yet, because we haven't had that possibility. But there's nothing on standby. ready to go if all of a sudden we spot some rogue object fly in, like interstellar 3i Atlas. If that had flown in on a collision course to Earth, it probably would have hit us. And 3i Atlas was quite a bit bigger than this. Its diameter was 2, 3, 5 kilometers, somewhere in that zone. So that is your asteroid update. Thankfully, 1997 NC1 not hitting us, but doing a very close flyby. And interesting to think about that from an energetic perspective, a little bit of a warning as to the potential for this, especially as we become more of a spacefaring world and global civilization, as you can say. We are going to eventually have to encounter this very real possibility and maybe start playing Space Invaders and deflecting asteroids. So I'll keep you up to date on all that and more. I've been your host, Stefan Burns, geologist, geophysicist. Thanks so much for watching. Smash that thumbs up button to help the channel grow. Subscribe to stay up to date on everything that's happening in our energetic environment. Wishing you well. I'll see you all in the next video.